Under the land transportations, we do have ground transportations that covers the road transportation and the rail transportation itself. So as you see on the monitor, is a modern rail transport systems that is in other countries. So for this subject, we'll learn about how it was started, who among those countries started or the pioneers on rail transport system, and how it was started in the Philippines, and what are those types of rail transportations that used nowadays, um, and which among those countries that use as far as concerned for modern technologies, and how is this rail transport system used as their everyday means of transportations as a commuters in other countries and also in the Philippines as well. We have some overview of the rail transportations. Rail transport delivers a comfortable and safe trip, just because the transportations has its own routes and its has own stops, and it's not stop anywhere you want. There is no traffic at all. They have their own rail tracks, and it is also monitored by the system itself within the city, who control, especially those in the suburban area, and how they control the coming of rail transport within the city and the rail transport outside of the city. It allows passengers to save money and time, yes, for one-time pass or so many uh, rail passes, you can use it. Though in other countries, passes sometimes, in rail passes, sometimes in other countries they use um, with a discounted or with a offer that if you use a one-time pass, it is less, it is expensive. It's better the most of the um, different um, passes, it is much better. It will save money. It allows the passenger to meet people and experience the environment. It offers a feeling that the passenger is traveling back in time. Yes, I may say this because it's the first mode of transportation that used for commuting at the same time for sightseeing. The history of rail passenger service. So I just sent through GC an example of how it was started, the invention of trains. Though I need to present some of the videos on our class, but for section 6, 7, and 8, I will send a video right away to Google Classroom. So I just created already the Google Classroom. So I will upload it after a while. So back to the history of rail passenger service, it started from mining area. Wagon roads, wooden rails used manpower, horsepower to pull wagon carts from the mining area. Yes, the British utilized rail transportation to carry coal mines. And in the 17th century, wooden rails replaced by iron steel. So in 18th century, the steam locomotive engine was invented. It is a part of like a coal system that boils, and then once it boils, there's a water, and it started to pull the on the rail tracks, the rail that supports the rail wagon. Okay, from the engine itself to the different wagon connecting vehicles. And then Stockholm and Darlington was the first railroad to run irregular scheduled services for passengers in so 1825. Then scheduled steam-powered, ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina, rail passenger service in the US. That's the same also with the locomotive engine. Steam din po yun. And then we have the Continent European Company in Belgium opened their first railroads. Thomas Cook's organized leisure travel, golden age of rail transportation, 19th century that was 1800 to 1899. Then 20th century 1900 1901 to 1999, began to challenge the rail transportations. Kaya nga po nag-introduce ng mga bullet train after this 20th century. Within the 20th century, I think the later part of the 20th century, diesel engine time na. And then the kinds of rail ito na po yung mga transportation rail, mga local trains. So depends. So on the bottom is we call it the trams that ply the route within the city. So the usual trams po, very old siya, no? So ang trams na to is flattened within the road surface. Flat po siya, wala siyang rail tracks. So yung steel lang po ang nakadikit sa semento. So within the city. So trams that's visible, the modern trams nowadays also can be seen in Australia. Alright, so this one is example in San Francisco, USA. So this one, the two are sample. I think we have here Spain, Australia, and yung under nito, dito sa ilalim, sa Japan naman ang example nun. Types of rail, this one example within the city. Uh, uh, a distance to the not a distance, just to avoid the distance to the airport, they use this monorail adjacent to the airport. We have this cable as part of sightseeing na lang po ito. This type of train, narrow gauge railway, so used before, but now it's part of the sightseeing. Used as a narrower track gauge that is used mainly for tourism now. Rail traffic. Rail transportations, do they really have a traffic? I don't think so. So sometimes it's between the city rails and the suburban rail transportations that sometimes cause up the traffic. It really depends on the system. It monitors by the system within the city and also within the nearby city. But on the monitor itself, you can see as part of the sightseeing. Major international rail transport systems. So we have here at the bottom is the Channel Tunnel. We also have in Japan also. I think I just show you on the presentation on our class next week. But for HM3678, HM3 section 678, I'll make it sure I'll just send it to GCR or GC. So Eurail Pass is the most extensive railway system for travel in Europe. Eurail allows tourists to travel within EU countries using a one-entry pass. A Eurail Pass is an all-in-one train ticket giving passengers flexible access to most of trains across Europe. The Eurail Pass. Sometimes we have the Eurail Pass from London to France and then to the nearby country. The train Equan Vitesse, so high-speed train similar to Shinkansen of Japan. It connects France with Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Italy, and Spain. The second tunnel, so this one in Japan, so it's an example, 53 kilometers. So I have a video of this passing from Hokkaido Island to Honshu rather, pass to the tunnel, and you will be inside the tunnel. You cannot see the sea. Once you're done with the 53 kilometers, so you can see the sea. The same thing also with London and Paris. The National Railroad Passenger Corporations. So Amtrak is simply known as Amtrak. It's a corporation striving to deliver high quality ships. So they have also sleeper train, the Amtrak. Rail Transit System Line 1 is considered to be the first LRT system in Southeast Asia. Opo, in 1980. Passengers Baclaran, Pasay City, and Bonifacio Mall. Now it is owned by a private company. As an attraction. So we have the Blue Train. Now it is simplified as sleeper train nowadays, yung sinabi ko kanina. So it is a Luxrail in Africa. The superb hotel on wheels travel between Pretoria and Cape Town. But nowadays, it is converted into a sleeper train. The same thing also, they did that with the sleeper train also. Combination na po, may restaurant na din po ang mga train. This one example in Africa, they call it Blue Train. An example of the earliest, we call it Orient Express. So now, as I mentioned earlier, this is an example of converted into a sleeper train. Copper Canyon Train is a captivating train ride that allows its passenger to experience spectacular scenery. The ride on this first-class train takes about 4 hours. So this only specified about the Copper Canyon Train, about canyon sightseeing only. But nowadays, Amtrak also passed this way as a sleeper train. Transportation the Land Transportation Office. So this government agency is charged with promoting the safety and comfort of public travelers with regards to motor vehicles. So the collection of various fees from license issuance, motor vehicle registration, fines and penalties due to vehicle infractions and issuance of vehicle license plates are also part of its duties and responsibilities. The Land Transportation Office, or they will be part of the Department of Transportation and Communication. Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board for those who are seeking licenses, driving license, LTFRB po. Transportation security for all vehicles, type of vehicles. Storyboard for those with expressway road surface, the roads pass through this, and they also initiate the RFID to refrain from over a long queue on the on the expressway. Transport cooperatives, it's for the public utility jeep, okay, and the public utility vehicles. Philippine National Railways, okay, in charge for the road surface, rail transportations, for resuming it to meet the commuters' um, needs from Manila to Central Luzon and up to the southern part of the LRTA. Now it is owned by the public, apart from the private pala. Ito yung Baclaran to Caloocan, extended up to Quezon City. Pero yung sample na sa picture, that this one is sa recto po ito, itong picture na ito. Recto to Antipolo. So, this is owned by a government to. Sila si Light Rail Transit. Nagkamali lang po dito sa error. Hindi siya Baclaran. So, recto hanggang Antipolo. Sorry. Recto to Antipolo ito. It's owned by the government to. Metro Rail Transit. Also known as the MRT Metro Star Express. So from Taft Avenue in Pasay to Quezon City, North Avenue to Pasay. So that will be all for the MRT. So see you next week.